The season finale of She-Hulk Attorney at Law is here, and it has changed the Marvel Cinematic Universe forever. Hey guys, it's Jenna, back at it again to break down all of the Easter eggs and Marvel references in She-Hulk's season, but hopefully not series, finale. There is so much to talk about, so make sure you hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. From the get-go, the show's new opening credits homage a key part of Hulk lore, the original Incredible Hulk television show. In a perfect recreation of that show's opening credits, we see Jen's story told with some perfect 1970s flair, complete with the "don't make me angry, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry" catchphrase that the show made universal. As I explained in a previous video, the Incredible Hulk had a key role in Jen being created in the first place, as Marvel quickly made a comic for her before Universal, who produced the show, could beat Marvel to the punch and create their own female Hulk. I'm just glad that this intro made it into the show at all, because I was starting to think that we had all collectively hallucinated that footage from the Disney Plus day last year. Back in her real world, Jen enters an agreement to never turn into the She-Hulk again, to start to try to undo the legal damage of episode 8. She even wears a power dampener like the one that was given to Blonsky earlier in the season. In the comics, Jen briefly loses her She-Hulk powers in a much more convoluted way, as Tony Stark injects her with power-inhibiting nanites without her consent after they sleep together in She-Hulk number 17. While Jen eventually gets her powers back, it understandably takes her a while to get over that grudge towards Tony. Eventually, everything culminates in the Intelligentsia gathering at Blonsky's retreat for the world's worst corporate event, where we learn, surprise surprise, that Todd is Hulk King and the creator of the website to begin with. Todd then injects himself with a synthesized sample of Jen's DNA, which turns him into a very gross version of the Hulk. This lines up with the Intelligentsia's experiments in the comics, with the group capturing and brainwashing Betty Ross into Red She-Hulk, Rick Jones into A-Bomb, and Amadeus Cho into Totally Awesome Hulk. After that conflict draws out Blonsky, Bruce in a new supersuit, and Titania, Jen rightly remarks that this plot just isn't working, and breaks the fourth wall in the biggest way yet. Jen literally breaks out of the Disney Plus menu and dives into an assembled behind-the-scenes documentary, similarly to a trick that she used throughout the Sensational era. This included her literally traveling through a list of Marvel solicitations, and her tearing open the pages of her book to complain at writer-artist John Byrne in a later issue. Once Jen breaks the fourth wall, she ends up in our real world, and more specifically, the Marvel Studios offices on the Disney lot. The sequence is filled with cameos, including the voice of Marvel prop master Russell Bobbitt, telling the story of how the first Infinity Gauntlet was created. Check out our video interview with him on the Phaser YouTube channel if you want to hear that full story. And Jen's visit to the She-Hulk writer's room features head writer Jessica Gao and staff writers Zeb Wells and Cody Ziegler. Ultimately, Jen's trip to the real world leads to her confronting Kevin, or really K.E.V.I.N, a robotic AI that stands for
Knowledge Enhanced Visual Interconnectivity Nexus.
The robot is a pretty obvious send-up to Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige, down to the baseball cap-like exterior that it has. The entire scene is meta on countless levels, especially as the latest example of superhero characters coming face-to-face with their creators. The trope began when Barry Allen met DC editor Julie Schwartz in 1968, with the Bronze Age Justice League later accidentally crossing paths with their writers on multiple occasions. Jen herself kept up the tradition during the Sensational era, often literally marching into the Marvel offices to voice her complaints to Byrne or editor Renee Witterstatter. The best instance of this is in Sensational She-Hulk number 50, where Jen got to help Renee pick out her next creative team after reading a bunch of samples. The exchange with Jen and Kevin finds ways to poke fun at many of the tropes surrounding the MCU. For starters, Kevin politely asks Jen to turn back into her human form off-screen because she's very expensive, and the VFX team has already moved on to another project. Cue the Black Panther theme. Jen also takes issue with the predictability of Marvel's third acts, the daddy issues that countless male characters have, and the overall lack of sex scenes in the franchise. Jen also says what so many of us have been thinking by asking Kevin when we're going to get the X-Men, but he says that he can't tell her quite yet. Also, we got Daredevil back. If you weren't shipping him and Jen already, you probably are now. During a cookout with Jen's family, Matt talks about helping the underprivileged through his practice in Hell's Kitchen, something that I really hope leads to Jen starting a practice of her own like she did in Charles Soule's She-Hulk run. The cookout also introduces us to Skaar, played by Stargirl alum Will Dusner. The son of Bruce Banner and Kyera the Oldstrong, Skaar was raised by Sakaran warriors and eventually became exiled to Earth, where he set out to kill his dad. He eventually became somewhat of an ally to him, thankfully. While a World War Hulk movie still has yet to be confirmed by Marvel, I have a feeling that this introduction leads to that, especially after Jen joked to Kevin that they should just save it for the movie. And finally, the post-credits scene of the episode shows Wong breaking Blonsky out of his jail cell, maybe leading the way for him to appear in Thunderbolts? At very least, I want to see what the two of them are watching on TV with Madison. She-Hulk's season finale was everything I wanted it to be and so much more. Heartfelt, incredibly meta, and jam-packed with Marvel connections that only Jen Walters could deliver. This raises the bar for Disney Plus finales so high, and it also makes me want a second season greenlit immediately.
Really in an era of big TV.
What did you think of the She-Hulk finale? Do you have a favorite Easter egg from the episode? Share your thoughts in the comments below, tweet them my way at Hey It's Jenna Lynn, and don't forget to subscribe to the Phase Zero YouTube channel for all your latest Marvel updates.